Alrighty guys, I have been meaning to do a tutorial on this. I kind of jumped the gun and got ahead of myself. So this is a Smokey tumbler using the Bright Tone Crystalac. Very, very super shiny, as you can tell. Right now I have it up for sale on Facebook Marketplace. If it doesn't sell, I'm probably gonna put my own name on this in like a metallic red, or maybe this mermaid blue color vinyl you see back here behind me. But I have a cup that I'm actually working on. Like I said, I jumped the gun. I got a little excited. So we have our wonderful ballerina rose from White Barn. I am obsessed with anything that smells like a rose. So, as I'm sure you've seen before, nothing crazy. This is black acrylic paint from Walmart. And then the stuff on top is apple barrel white paint from Walmart, put on by these cheapo depot brushes. So nothing fancy. I don't use fancy stuff. I am not sponsored by anybody, so I try and go the most inexpensive route as possible. If somebody would like to sponsor me, however, I would be more than happy to try out their products. But until then, like I said, we just kind of fly by the seat of our pants and do what we can. So, as you see, I have, oh, there we go. I have one flame lit. And what you're gonna wanna do, what I've noticed is the best technique. Let me move you a little closer. There we go. So use a butter knife or a fork. I use a butter knife. As you see, this thing is broken in for sure. So I've seen a lot of people hold it completely flat over the flame. That's not what you want to do. You want to tilt it up at an angle, because the flame is going to hit this butter knife and then bring that soot straight up into your cup. If you hold it completely flat, I've noticed that sometimes it'll come up around both sides of the butter knife, but a lot of times it just kind of takes that oxygen away from my flame and just kind of makes it go low, and it doesn't really produce a whole lot of soot. So I put my butter knife in the flame like so. Oh, there we go. So I put it in like this, and I hold it at an angle. And I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there is black smoke coming up off of this. Get it to focus down here. There we go. So half in the flame, half out of the flame. The soot rises up, and that's what you want to put on your cup. So this looks really splotchy, and I want it to look a little more cohesive. So I'm going to put a little bit more on this cup. Holding my butter knife at an angle. Getting some soot to come up onto the cup. There's no rhyme or reason as to how you want to angle this. It's entirely up to you. Just know that if you hold it in one spot for too long, you're going to get a darker spot there. So the idea is to constantly keep it moving so that you have the swirls as opposed to just like one really, really dark splotch. Unless that's the look you're going for, in which case more power to you. Art does not have to be uniform. Art doesn't even need to look a certain specific way that you wanted it to, that somebody else wanted it to. Art is a form of expression. So if you're like me and you're super OCD, you just gotta kind of roll with it. Okay. So as you can see, that put a lot more swirls onto my white, which is definitely what I was wanting. So next, all I'm going to do is just go in with some black glitter. I will cover this with Mod Podge. I usually cover it with my Rust-Oleum matte clear spray. However, when you are using the Crystalac, you have to wait 48 hours for it to gas off, and I'm a very impatient person and I don't like waiting. So I'm going to do Mod Podge, stick it in front of a fan so that I can get my vinyl on here, do my glitter. I use Mod Podge to glitter my stuff anyways, so I'm already going to have it out. But yeah, there you go. That is the Smokey tutorial. Super, super easy. As you can see what I was talking about, I got really heavy right in there. So that's like super, super concentrated. I may stick that on the back of the cup and make this soft spot the front. But other than that, just have fun with it. It's super fun, super easy, and if you have a good smelling candle, you're gonna make your room smell absolutely glorious at the same time. So again, you can seal it with some Rust-Oleum matte spray, or I don't use epoxy, so I'm not entirely certain the process. I don't know if you would just put epoxy over this. However, I'm a very big advocate for epoxy free, because epoxy is very dangerous and a lot of people don't understand just how dangerous it is. So I will always, always, always recommend Bright Tone, because you can do it right in your house. I can apply it with my finger, no gloves, nothing, and just go wash my hands with soap and water in the sink. So I encourage you to do your own research and work with this and then never look back. I do want to go ahead and say I did not paint my Mod Podge on. I did not want to run the risk of smearing that soot, and I always spray my glitter down with E6000 so I can smush it down. This is not fine glitter. It's in between fine and chunky. So I have to smush it down so I don't have to put so many layers. Once I run out of this though, I will pour probably half Mod Podge, half water, shake it up. It's essentially the same thing. Like I said, I'm all about saving money. So I did want to say that if you're looking at this technique, do not brush your Mod Podge on, spray it. Right now I have it in front of a fan drying. I have turned the fan off so that you don't have to deal with hearing it. But spray your sealant on. That way you don't risk smearing all of the, I can't really call it hard work because you saw firsthand how easy it was. But so that you don't ruin all of the work, we'll put it that way. So I just had to end the tutorial that way because I don't want anybody to brush it on and then come back to me and be like, hey, what the hell? And then I'm like, crap, yeah, that's my oversight. I apologize. We put a lot of time into our crafts, and we don't need something else bogging it down. So either do E6000, or if you want to buy the spray Mod Podge, there's also that option. but definitely make sure whatever you use that it is an application that is sprayed on and not rubbed on or brushed on, because when I go over this with my Crystalac, I don't want any of that to smear. So putting some sort of glue or cover over that is definitely going to help.